Alright, well that's gonna get annoying real quick. Sorry the background music won't be on through most of this due to the fact that I am going to be switching back and forth between windows, and the Carnivores window only keeps the music up when focused. So, yeah, there you go. Welcome to it. We're going to get underway in about 5 minutes or so here. Just give you a heads up that it's going to be just like last time for the first little bit. It will be mostly just me talking. Emote only mode will be on throughout the talking points. And then once I have said all that needs to be said, and whatnot, emote only mode will be shut off, and y'all will be able to give your feedback, voice your opinions, and whatnot, and discuss stuff amongst yourselves. All the chat will be logged on screen for developers for when the video gets posted for them, as well as for the folks that could not be here in chat that may watch it on YouTube at a later date. Stick around, in about 5 minutes or so, we will get underway.
All right.
All right, welcome to it. Another stream dedicated to updating the community mostly the Discord community that I interact with, and anybody who may be following on the Digital Dreams Entertainment official Facebook page, where I also deal with some of the public posting, and the Digital Dreams official YouTube channel, where I also interact with the community as a community liaison in community management roles and such. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mark, and I am a privately contracted specialist who works under contract to Digital Dreams Entertainment and their subsidiaries and partners, etc. I am not an employee of Digital Dreams. I am not an employee of Tatum Games. I am not a developer on the Carnivores title, and I am not a developer on any other titles. I am contracted to do several different jobs for Digital Dreams and Tatum Games and other of their partners and associates. However, I am not employed as an employee of any of those companies. It is one of my jobs to interact with the community in that I take your suggestions and ideas and I log them all and I put them in order of most wanted to least wanted, and I throw that all back at the developers along with any bug reporting and other issues that might come up in any of the titles that they have me contracted to deal with. So that's a little bit about me. I feel that there is need to address a what the community believed was a bug and developers have stated was not. The newly introduced carnivorous Triceratops and Ankylosaurus. They were not a bug. The screen that announced you were killed by these newly introduced carnivores was not a bug. That being said, developers, and this is my standpoint here, yes, do not spam because you will get timed out, and if you do it repeatedly, you will be removed. Your chat privileges will be removed automatically. It's just the way things are set up around here, so there you go. But in regards to the newly introduced carnivores and their behaviors and whatnot, this is not something that developers just pulled out of their ass. Research was done on these points. They needed to do the research to get down the behavioral modes that were being programmed. Each of the newly introduced carnivores were, in fact, entirely programmed to have completely different I'm looking for a word here, behavioral tendencies. This is not something that is not speculated on, not written about, and whatnot. It can be found. You can find carnivorous herbivores through simple Google searches, through going to your library, to reading up on dinosaurs. It happened. It was a thing that was well documented. So these weren't something they just pulled out of their asses. There was a lot of work that went into programming the new behavioral actions for each of these carnivorous species, and they behaved quite in line with how they were supposed to be behaving. Many may have noticed that since these new carnivores were introduced, players were having a lot more difficulty actually getting killed by herbivores because herbivores avoid conflict. They run away. It's their natural instinct. They'll defend their young, they'll defend a nest, but it's very rare that a herbivore, unless it's a male, will attack anything. And if it is a male, it's usually attacking to defend territory. Um, Female herbivores were known to cannibalize other herbivore nests, feed their young to their own young, things like that. These are all things that could lead to an actual herbivore becoming a carnivore just from conditioning, through dietary conditioning from the mother, feeding it other babies from nests that encroach on their territory, to teach their young that this is our territory, we defend it, that sort of thing. But anyway, all that being said, the developers would like to thank you guys all very much for your continued feedback, your suggestions, the continued bug reporting, etc. It's being very helpful in being able to move the game forward and shape it in the ways that the community would like to see it. With that all out of the way, I'm going to give you guys the early bit. This information will be posted at some point tomorrow morning on the official Digital Dreams Facebook page. This comes direct from developers. It is my great pleasure and honor to be able to bring you guys this information. The Steam beta playtest is winding down. There will be an update released for it prior to the update that gets released across all platforms to bring all platforms onto the same game version at the same time. That being said, I'm just going to read this straight out to you as is, as will be posted on the Digital Dreams Facebook page. Like I said, we are winding down in the Steam beta playtest, but that's not to say it is not over. There will be an update that hits the Steam beta playtest before the final update that finalizes the Steam beta playtest and brings all consoles and the Steam beta playtest up to date to the same version across all platforms. So, without further ado, hello Carnivores Dinosaur Hunt fans. That's you guys. As you know, our game is already in full release state across console platforms. However, as we are nearing completion of the Steam beta playtest and are coming close to what we feel the community would like to see as release on PC, we're aiming to bring all platforms up to date so the entire Carnivores Dinosaur Hunt community will be able to enjoy the same game state across all existing platforms. For the past few months, our team has worked on fixing bugs, refining gameplay, and adding some highly requested quality of life improvements. That's your suggestions and feedback. With this in mind, we would like to talk feedback and suggestions. We are trying our best at striving to take to heart suggestions and feedbacks that our community have submitted via the various platforms available. Recent feedback suggests that a significant part of the community has taken issue with the presence of carnivorous behavior in the Triceratops. We would like it to be clear this was a design choice based on research to offer new challenges to our community as we were aiming to deliver as much new possible changes to the game. But we also want our community to be reassured that we are also moving forward with design decisions based directly on your feedback. Big Fat Chris, you and your emotes. You're going to end up getting yourself blocked from chat. That said, since you, the community, are clearly showing us that this decision makes you unhappy more than any other issue you have with the game, we have decided to change our ongoing plans and allocate resources to deliver a change that will make all Triceratops have herbivore behavior only. So, yes, they are going to institute a change and remove the newly designed carnivorous Triceratops. While the game is in full release across platform or across console systems already, this means this is not an easy fix. Please keep in mind such change will require us to ensure it won't result in unexpected issues across all platforms the game is currently available on, as well as the new Steam platform. Please be aware that the work on removal of the carnivorous Triceratops has just started, and as a result, the upcoming update to Steam Playtest won't have this change. So, until the next patch, the Triceratops will remain a carnivore, and the screens will remain referring to the carnivores that kill you as carnivores. You may, however, expect this change in the following update or upon the release of the update across all platforms. We would also like the community to know that at this time we are focused on fixes for a significant amount of issues that the wonderfully dedicated Discord, Steam, and Facebook Carnivores communities across all platforms have taken time to report. We are moving forward at a steady pace, and we feel that soon we'll be able to deliver a full official update to Steam Playtest platform, and following that, a release to bring all games to the same state across all platforms simultaneously, so that any and all future updates will be the same for everyone. There you go. That's the biggest thing to get out there. They are going to remove the carnivorous Triceratops. This is going to take a little bit of work, so you won't see it in the very next patch. However, you will see it once it has been tested and ensured it's not going to cause issues across all the other platforms. So there you go. That's the main gist of today's update. The fact that, yes, there is a patch coming to Steam. This will not be the final state of the game, and the Triceratops will remain carnivorous for a short bit before the final patch is released to Steam and stability tests are completed to ensure that everything is stable across all platforms, at which point the Steam beta playtest will be considered closed and full release will happen across all platforms, bringing all platforms onto the same version of the game at the same time and moving forward from there. So there you go. That's basically it for this update. Not a long one by any means, but some big news. I am neither here nor there about what's being added or removed or whatever. I myself enjoyed the carnivorous Triceratops adding an extra challenge and whatnot. I still look forward to being mauled by a carnivorous Ankylosaurus whenever I find one. But yeah, they're going to remove those for now, the Triceratops, and move forward. And that about brings you up to speed on where we're sitting. So, I am going to take emote only chat off now, and you may feel free to pipe up your feedback, suggestions, and whatnot. Your thoughts on the coming removal of the new carnivore that was added, and what you might like to see for the future of the game. The floor is yours. And Big Fat Chris, if you spam, you will be timed out. Just saying. Ah, so that's why you're here, is it? Well, that's strike two. It's very likely because, as I said, it was very noticeable that a lot of the herbivore dinosaurs now uh, avoid the hunter as much as possible. I've found that pretty much the majority of everything that's killed me has been a carnivore. It's been pretty much impossible to get killed by a herbivore because they just run away. I mean, they'll run right across the water to get away from me. But that's not to say you won't accidentally get trampled if you have the population density up and whatnot. I mean, compared to a lot of players, I probably have a lot less time logged in the game simply because prior to the Steam beta test, I was only playing in a developer version, and I have a lot of jobs, so I don't get a lot of chance to play games all day. Um, so, like I said, you guys are going to log a lot more time probably than I would. And when I go into the game, I go in specifically for testing purposes at this point. I don't go in to, grind trophies out and get all the maps unlocked and everything like that. I spent a lot of my time wandering over the island trying to see if I can fall through, see if there's texture alignment issues, floating trees, things that are glaringly obvious glitches, stuff like that. Um, I look like I smoke my life out? Well, all right. You're just full of things to say, aren't you? Um, but yeah, if the algorithms that they have in there stay pretty much the same, it's likely that you're going to see a lot less herbivores killing you. And I think that may be a reason why they added the carnivorous Triceratops and Anki, was to put a little bit more of a challenge on the first few maps when you're not really encountering a lot of beasts that are gonna, attack you. As like I said, herbivores will mainly run away unless you're encroaching on a nesting area or they feel you're threatening their young, in which case, yeah, they would defend their young. And in most cases, it would only be the males that would attack. The females would, form a circle around the young or whatever, and defend to their last breath, basically. but it would be the males that would be the more aggressive of the species, and females were more likely uh, turn to cannibalization or sorry, turn to carnivorous behaviors through cannibalization of encroaching nests. Uh, as far as the hunt I was just doing before this stream, it seems like that is still a thing. They do get aggressive if you get too close. Um, it was mostly uh, carnivores that I was running into, though. So basically, I upped the population uh, to the max density, at which point there would be a few, maybe like one or two, maybe three carnivores on the map, but the majority of the Triceratops were herbivores, which allowed me to try and get closer to them and basically, purposely try and get killed by one, but I hadn't had much luck. And then now here we are. Stream started, so. And he hit his strike three. Well, hello to you. You gonna say hello to everybody out there? No? You're just gonna take up a spot on the desk, aren't you? Yeah? Okay. As for like animations and whatnot, like maybe a Triceratops munching on you after it killed you and whatnot, that's probably way later down the road because currently they've just got basic locomotion. Um, which is why a lot of the death animations and stuff aren't there or don't line up, things like that. Um, I mentioned a bit in previous streams too. They still have work to do on audio in adding to the sound banks and stuff like that. They have placeholder audio in place and whatnot as well. Um, Hey, not a problem, Dino. That's what I'm here to do, man. Um, basically, I get hired to ensure that the voice has a community, or the voice has a community. The community has a voice, but the stuff like Big Fat Chris there gets weeded out. See, I think that's what they were working on with the new carnivorous Triceratops because, like I said, it was much rarer that a female of the species would attack. Even when it's protecting its nest, the females would surround the nest with their horns facing out, ass towards the nest, forming a circle around the nest or the young in order to protect. And they wouldn't leave that circle, they would die standing in that circle. The males, however, will aggressively protect territory. They will trample eggs and eat the babies. Um, Female would trample and eat the babies as well, and even go so far as to feed the young embryos to their own babies in an effort to teach them as they're growing that they do have to defend their territory as well. That sort of thing. and by doing that, it would condition a what would be a natural herbivore to becoming a carnivore, which is along the lines of like Jeffrey Dahmer and cannibalism and shit like that in the human race. Um, no, there's been documented writings of fossils found with like embryos in their stomach and bones in their stomach. Um, it's been documented of destroyed nests and stuff like that. I learned about this stuff in Canadian school in like from grade 7 to grade 12 in biology and shit like that. We learned about cannibalization and the differences between male and female of the species and how a male can become aggressive, but also due to the fact that it's the one doing all the protecting and killing of enemies. Basically, it could get a taste for blood. Blah blah blah. Um, it is very rare that there was cannibalism or carnivorism in herbivore's line, but it was documented. Um, so what they were putting in game wasn't just something they pulled out of their ass. This is something that has been documented before, etc., etc. And like I said, that could be how they were looking to introduce a male and a female of species variant. It allows them to distinctly program two different types of the same species because there were specific models tied to the carnivores because they couldn't use the same models that the herbivores were. Um, and there was specific behavioral programming, etc., etc. It was two different entities programmed. So in the end, there was two different types of triceratops and two different types of ankylosaurs. And as far as I can tell, I don't think they're removing the carnivorous ankylosaurs because all they've talked about was the carnivorous triceratops. So careful, the carnivorous ankylosaurs could still be in there um, after the next update, after the update that removes the carnivorous triceratops. Because basically there was two new types of dinosaurs in game. There was the new triceratops and the new ankylosaurs. That's you. Hey, you. In the sense of lore, uh, it could be experimentation that causes these mutations. Dinocore or Dinocorp experimenting with species to create new species. Or, maybe they're sending enough hunters to the planet where the bodies are just piling up. So the Triceratops decided, well, it smells good. Let's eat it. But for the base carnivorous attitudes and cannibalization, etc., etc., they did look in books and didn't just pull this out of their ass. Um, I don't know that I'm allowed to speak to it any more than I can say this, but this series isn't the only dinosaur game that uh, the programmers that are programming dinosaurs for this game have programmed dinosaurs for. Um, they've programmed dinosaurs for other aspects of education and entertainment. I'll say that because NDAs and whatnot. There's a lot of stuff I can't talk about, but I can say that they're not pulling this shit out of their ass. It comes from reading books and studying and knowing stuff. uh, yes, some of the sounds are going to be new, changed. They still haven't finalized the sound banks and whatnot. It's just a lot easier to send out smaller updates than to have to send out the entire game every single time. You know, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's not actually in this build because they don't want to give it away from the full release update. What's going to happen after the Steam beta is done and the surprise new content that's going to be pushed out to all platforms. Um, so yeah, there's on top of stuff being broken, there's going to be stuff that is non-existent that we won't get to see until the final update. Yes, there's quality of life content as well as um, community requested fixes and quality of life stuff. Um, Going on what we already have in the game, as I said, I believe they were very rare. Mainly due to the fact that even having the max density of Triceratops on the map that I was playing right before the stream went live here, uh, there was very few that would actually attack me, like cross the map to attack me. For the most part, they would run away. So, being that I have not come across at all a carnivorous ankylosaur yet, I don't believe they're available on this map at this point. They may be available on later maps, but I don't have those maps unlocked yet. Um, as for the Triceratops, the majority of Triceratops I was coming across on the island would run away from me to the point that they wouldn't get in killing distance of me. Um, However, there might be two or three out of a fully populated map that would attack me. So they're rare. However, being that the new programming has the herbivores more likely to run away from you, the reason you see the death screen the most is because it's usually the carnivores that are killing you. Uh, as far as that goes, nothing's been stated yet. Like I said, that would take a lot, not only for locomotion, but it would take more skeletal animation and whatnot to properly animate the dinosaurs attacking and killing each other, etc. And not only that, but they feel that if the dinosaurs are hunting each other on the island, it's going to have it'll be less rewarding for you because it's possible that the dinosaurs could hunt each other out before you get a chance to find them or hunt them yourself. And yes, the true herbivore dinosaurs would still attack on occasion. I just haven't come across the occasion yet that they would. But we'll find out more as things progress because they are removing the Triceratops carnivore, so maybe we'll have a higher chance of getting stomped by a herbivore now. New maps, I honestly couldn't say. I haven't seen any in production, haven't heard any, and you guys know about as much as I do on that. I'm looking forward to hopefully when everything concludes, an actual Digital Dreams slash Tatum stamp of approval on a mod tool set. That would be really cool. I think after all that the community's done to keep this game going for more than 2 decades, the community definitely deserves a developer approved mod kit. And yes, this is all wonderful to hear. I look forward to seeing what comes in the first Steam Beta Playtest update. Because this Steam Beta Playtest update will only be on the Steam Beta Playtest. It won't go live to the console systems yet. So we'll be playing on a version that the console players don't get to play on until the full Steam Beta playtest is done, confirmed, and playtested to the consoles, and then it will go to release across all platforms. So, for a timeline, I would say that we got at least another month on Steam, maybe a half a month, and that's being very, very generous, before we see the final update. We should have an update coming here within the next week or two, maybe, is my best guess. But then we'll have a bit of playtest after that, and then the finalization. So probably about another month of the Steam Beta playtest rolling along is my best guess. Don't quote me on that, and that's not official from Digital Dreams or Tatum Games or the developers. That's just my best guess from the conversation had today, through the notes that I've read out to you guys as well. So, in regards to carnivorous dinosaurs, them friggin' stegosauruses from Saurian were absolutely amazing. I want those in game. They are terrifying. One of them coming through the trees at me, yeah, I would poop. Multiplayer is a huge, huge leap. Um, I honestly don't see anything for it at the moment, and I probably wouldn't plan to harass the developers about it until they have a stable single player platform to begin with, because there's still quite a bit of work to go before the game is in a state where it could be considered full release. I mean, you can see that in the fact that some of the dinosaur sounds still become detached. Um, Along with that, it's possible that the hitboxes are becoming detached as well, which could account for missed shots that you know you hit. It could also account for why some of the dinosaurs seem to be tanking inordinate amount of shots, yet when you get to them, you've only put like 3 shots into them, you know, stuff like that. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that the dinosaurs can run through rocks and trees. In order to be able to stop the players from hiding out on tall rocks and just killing all the beasts, you know, they made it so the dinosaurs could run through rocks and be able to kill people. But now that they do that, it seems like when they run away from the player, they're at times running through terrain or rocks or trees, and it's causing their hitboxes and their sound to detach from the skeletal frame of the dinosaur, which is causing issues with being able to shoot the dinosaur, being able to track the dinosaur, etc., etc. So that's something that yeah, would likely be way down the line. Daily objectives would definitely be cool. I would like to see stuff like that. Um, I believe it's been mentioned in the suggestion section. So basically, you can guarantee that anything that's been mentioned in the suggestion section has been forwarded to developers at some point. I go through the feedback and suggestions in the pardon me, in the Discord about once a week. If I find there's a lot of repetitive stuff, I'll wait 2 weeks and then I'll collect all the data. I'll skim through it and get rid of all the repeated stuff and send the list in. And the same with bug reporting and whatnot. I check the bug section every week and ensure that if there's anything new there, it's reported directly to developers. As far as production goes, though, I'm only allowed to say what they allow me to say. And anything that I don't know on purpose. Plausible deniability. I tell them not to tell me things because then I know things and people can pry things out of me. uh, Tell you the truth, they're interested in a lot of the suggestions that the community gives. Um, that's the developers working on this project, I've worked with before on other projects in the past, and one thing I can definitely say is these guys are all about their community. They love listening to the community, and they love building ideas around what the community builds. Um, whether it be lore or actual researched specifics and scientific what's the word I'm looking for, accuracy, stuff like that. They love the fact that the community is so heavy into seeing a good game and supporting a good game. Um, that's that's why they've stuck to having this more like a simulation than an arcade shooter, is because that's what their community has wanted over the years. They wanted something more along the lines of Hunter Call of the Wild rather than like an arcade Cabela cabinet, you know? Um, so they've always relied on community feedback to help improve and give direction to the game. The biggest issue they had before was the fact that the proprietary engine that they had built for their game couldn't handle what the community wanted. It could barely handle what the developers wanted. Um, so they managed to put out a few titles on that and get a rather good player base. Um, and basically, that's what supported getting them onto the Unity engine and being able to bring the Carnivores title onto a new platform, onto a new engine, and be able to keep the title progressing rather than just seeing all the older stuff be modded by the community. Now, that being said, like I said, it would be amazing to get a developer's stamp of approval on a development kit, on a mod kit that's available to the public, like a lot of games with the Unreal Engine do. Giving you access to the Unreal Engine when you get the game, like they did originally in Unreal 99 and stuff like that, you know? I can't really go into detail on anything because everything's a giveaway. I mean, if I say the developers like this, somebody says, "Ooh, that's going to be in the game." But then if it doesn't get in the game, somebody gets upset and it's all my fault. And ah, I don't kiss and tell. We'll put it that way. But yeah, they are heavy into community involvement in feedback and suggestions that will definitely shape the future of the game. I want to see those stegosauruses. It's hard to say. I can ask about it, but current political conditions and the state of affairs in Ukraine could make that something very difficult to do. So if it would be a thing, it would probably be way down the road. And it would depend on probably the sale of the game. I mean, if if the community shows that they want that, then Possibly. But again, that would be something that is up to them, you know. If it's not financially feasible, then it's highly likely they wouldn't do it. But again, if the community shows that they want it and the finances are there, then it could possibly be a thing. I will definitely ask about it. A little bit of a recap. We got some quality of life updates coming. Some bug fixes are incoming, along with some refined gameplay. They will be removing the carnivorous Triceratops at the request of a very vocal community. Um, for the record, I enjoyed the carnivorous Triceratops, and I will continue to hunt them until they are gone from the game. And when they are gone from the game, I will continue to want them back. Just so you know, um, I look forward to seeing more in the future. That's for sure. Uh, so yes, the Triceratops will be made herbivore only once again. This will not be in the very next update, but probably the following update. There is a bit of work to do to get that all out of the game now, so it will take time. And yeah, basically keep up to date with the official Digital Dreams Facebook page. And of course, there you go. Yep. Yup. Exactly. Um, I lost my place here. Okay, herbivore only, Triceratops, quality of life updates, sound banks still need working, locomotion still needs working, uh, death animations, things like that will still need working, of course. And things are moving forward. Um, Again, just a note to everybody that a few of the folks that were able to did get out of Ukraine. There were a few that could not leave for whatever reasons. They have family, they have life, they have work there, etc. They're defending their country. They are still working and moving things forward on Carnivores as well as other titles that they are working on, including Mutant Football League sequel, the Mutant Football League 2. Um, they continue to work on these titles and continue to hit up the community for feedback and suggestions. They continue to work to fix bugs, etc. Again, still a little bit of run to go on the Steam beta playtest. There will be an update coming that will address some bug fixes and whatnot. The Triceratops carnivores being removed, you will not see that happen until either the second Steam beta update or the full release to all platforms. So there's all that for you to take in and whatnot. I'll give you guys about another 5 minutes for questions and comments and whatnot, and I'll answer as best I can, whatever is needed. And then I'm going to wrap this stream up, as it was a bit of a surprise stream. Wasn't actually planned a whole bunch, but the developers felt that this would be a good time to address the fact that they are listening and they are taking your suggestions and your feedback seriously. They're working tirelessly to address bugs and ensure that the community is going to get a game that they are happy to play. So there you go. Questions, comments, etc. Have at it, and you got about 5 minutes. And I will say, yes, it's very possible that the mutated trike could be added back carnivorous once again in the future. Boss chops. Does that count? Boss chops. I have nothing as of yet on that. My guess is they will be back in the game, mainly because they were a part of the game throughout the series. Um, I will definitely ask what their considerations are and maybe what kind of plans they have, but you'll have to be patient for a, oops, excuse me, a response. I like to take the fact that there's still all the crates laying around the island that as proof that mutants and whatnot will be coming back, because hey, it's Dino Hunt Corp and they're all about making the money, right? Sending silly hunters to get eaten across space. Oh my goodness. Tell them. Can't exactly say mutants are confirmed or not, but you know, I like to hope, because, like I said, they've been in all the past titles, and also, like I said, you know, we're probably not playing the full game right now because, yes, resupplies have been suggested as something that the community would like to see. I recall sending those suggestions in. I believe so. I believe it was. I think day one, that was the most requested creature that I saw mentioned. All right, just a reminder for everybody where you got to go if you want to report a Steam beta playtest bugs. That's where you go. If you need to know what kind of issues have been found, that's where you can go. And of course, we support DDE and Dinosaur. So get your hunt on. We're going to wrap up the stream there. I'd like to thank everybody from the Carnivores Discord community that managed to pop into the stream today. Appreciate you folks coming out to listen to me babble. Appreciate everybody in the Discord that continues to send suggestions and feedback, as well as the folks on the Steam community, as well as the social medias. Thank you, everybody, for everything you are doing, bug reporting, suggesting, feedbacking, and all of that stuff. You are greatly appreciated, and developers are doing their best to make this the game you want to play. Until next time, I'm out of here, and you all have a safe and happy hunt. And as always, stay simply effin' astounding.